charity TV so also for HRPK and then me di jumede ho chairman me so emamo nyina ajo last week intimi amba show so because na holiday no aye de amamo ntini pese mamu time na mo ne ebusuafo hanging out na afede bibia so enkoso tortin but ene yeni yenya angel ebetwetwe nkomo when it comes to weight management some way somehow no so even how the system looks at it now almost 80% of people are over the BMI. And no one just also say, oh yeah, Kessia Broso and I say BMI BMI no crowd. Check it crap body builders be over their BMI. But and their body mass index no. Yeah, be kumo details, no church here. But again, the fact that you're over your BMI doesn't mean sending your fat, if you want to your muscles. So we'll talk about that. Na answer ne beto aso no me share say me patcha afa no join ya share video no ma wonu ya na onya so ntibenya access no mra metie bi cause be boa as unyini no metabolism e decrease inti no ma o weight gain no eye mo ebu oso so enro bit bi ma wo gain weight yenwa be ma ebe ne ebe go over ni nyina nti me share ma onya na onya so enya akonya no na ontimi embetie for onongasa. Now the better also yes so to say kraman esia pampa so na eyobi ne kukru de nesi onya ne pedo de si o the sent ne be fa akonya so ne da abo afo aso asene e de dwumedie ebra mo ase feel good services says I will pay adwuma popode nimdie anase enkomode bia hwehwe kira kwan wo feelgoodservices@gmail.com na afedie bibia ankoso wano Feel good home so say ope baby ada anapa baby de wutia atwa hwebo kira kwan na afedie omoma obibi papa na ewo pokwase anase East Legon Hills so episode customize wo dan anase bia auto asase a anase bia apartments kra na person rent and so auto a o metima ni nyina mo from 513-372-5758 anase email omo ewo feelgoodservices@gmail.com. Happy Glow GH so kamusa Shoman Estate and I know be friend was me could deep them my miswa Ghana internet person man the treat upside called Happy Glow GH. Happy Glow GH Shoman Estate right opposite Veggies and Grow. Could call your pedicure, manicure and all your facial beauties supplies in the house so hobby. Oswald Wellness Clinic, Maryland, and Ohio, Potem, so family nurse practitioner, IV hydration, primary care, and I said weight management. I said my day by BKA. Oswald Wellness is also meet me a boa pint. No tea and then common on. Now she share Oswald Wellness is so track and wait back could did you media kama 513-268-2740. Mesaka will be himself fighting financial ignorance in America is a very big deal. A lot of people are struggling to have a good plan for their kids and good insurances for their life. And also these insurance plans are ubetimia have a brat and still use it and help yourself and your family. College plans, college funds they betimia situate oma at a good place before they get to college, Shisha yenya by Millicent Chakwa 937-321-2270. Na fi de bibia enkoso kama. But I say, opemo na kasa tap send. Catcher will say, so ope kwa bit ma fast was in this coffee. Na unya any headache, unya any struggles. Unsuro se obi bebore wa account mo na afedie. Waba be you sika wa account ma. Tap send na make am fama odi webusu nyina. Because Tata so App Store now, download the App Store now, say Google Play Store. They could download the Tap Send no for promo code PK HMP-KAY and that's HRE Nenya. $15 on your first transaction. And you're safe, secured, and very reliable. At the end of the day, no, Sika will send his coffee no. There's no fee attached to it. mesraw bank account nso so na pesa send cost so a bibia edemu kama tap send or say papa no nti no mesraw o de no na wo di ba wo busuafo so aye wadwe o say oh obi ate nye obi ana ate unia na ohye kona nim na o don kɔ Ghana fom no nte ye nti se wan bona mane e bere no ate o de se wo hwe na se wunya daje bona mane afa ye number ma no ye betimi atena ase ne ani no ya cheche ne nyema mu kama startup sense so the wallet system no eba abonten ya start with UK na just say wuti bi discuss go wansa wo app first account mu na time bia pa bia no wo dey asene ho enya afi na o bank ene o ba betwetwe ho bibia sika no wo mu da enche bia no o mu de be fi UK akọwi asafa na nyina na so it be a benefit from the same opportunity no sabre no medam sama join me nim say wo fra unia na unia so a join but yenwa bema Angel e wo yintem Angel last 3 weeks ye ne na etwetwe nkobo wo hanim say now na ye come pa what happened is 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago yes Angel Emma ye the road to medical school and Angel is having a good time with his medical journey almost done to specialize and move on with life but he's also a fitness trainer and also a friend is say a health person into no or per se on here trase no dream no baby no afi do my say when it comes to managing our weight sabre mekona director David any update what top send am I or the my we pet na afi de enua bema Angel akasa ti director David kasa no normal enua bema Angel so akwa about Mr. Fa kwenya so na share video no especially the link to Zoom no Emma will boost your phone number TB. Always believe in first-hand information than say tekoka because if you first say tekoka wo hey a bokro. Dr. David Amakwa Baba Jumedi so.
PK, thank you so much. Good evening, Busiafo. First of all, before we even start the show, PK, I'd like to apologize to Nkofon from last week into me, but because of Easter Monday, into so we're happy to come back this week. Any latest update from the tap and it's pretty straightforward. We're still aggressively pushing to find you good rates. I mean, CSRT before the Easter, we're sitting somewhere around 1301. Right now we're sitting at 1310, and we're trying to make accommodations in the baby PNB account. So first of all, thank you so much for coming. And not everybody in the show might actually talk about. Maybe they will use the code, but we know we talk about it in your pockets, in your chats. And for that, we thank you so much. As you continue to grow in the US, you need every single one of you, mobile show, so you spread it across with your friend. You talk about tap send. And Kofo still use old competitors, and I'm not going to mention the competitor's name. But again, thank you. More importantly, Angel, thanks for coming back. I know today you're coming as a fitness instructor. The last time you were here as a medical student, so apparently you both. Amazing work. Happy to have you back. I'll give the floor right back to you, MPK, and welcome to the show. Thanks so much, Angel.
All right, that's it. With the update from Tatap said, what we're gonna do is say we're basically going to have the first section of presentation from your Angel. Yeah, now after the or the questions now what questions I will be at to hold them now for the answer question and now for the into the Tatap send Q&A whereby our director David in opinion for Tatap send opinion for I can know will answer any questions or solve any problems for you. Debbie Ameka say fair customer service not catch say 3 days 4 days now I won't tell manka which is not even the norm but just in case that should be the case now on this show no is where people get their issues resolved right on the spot. So take advantage of that. Now if you're from you now so and friend you na baby aso enko so kama. Enjoy your makwa baba djumedi no so. Enjoy Temeka.
Yeah, Metonka ultimate. Also Temeka.
Metonka, very nice. Enjoy. You see weight management. Usually topic when go think they handle at the beginning of the year because people say I feel the book hey, New Year resolution. Now be a month for your resolutes it do February after Valentine's Day and a month for starting we stay here. A month for starting the day So in the year weight management, how do we manage our weight? Also, my NTS here, the different types of body weight. One of my practices are my body A may not fit body B. Why? And age difference how it plays a role. I'm not saying you have something put together to give to us. But little questions I'm for tested by and I know be made to talk about just to clear your mind on how the direction now. Another way to say, you know, there's a lot of words that we hear from a lot of people say, oh, you know, cardio do not burn. Your friend is saying fat, but rather it burns calories, right? But you know, thinking about it, you know, on the long run, you know, if calories are being burned, carbohydrates are being burned out now, indirectly, the fat, you know, have some impact through the trickle effect. How everything just goes. And I'm not a science student, but a common sense will tell you, say, I mean, everything will make sense on that, you know, route, you know. So please take us through the journey of weight management.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me back. I think so. Like you said, I was here a couple of weeks ago, and I'm glad to I'm back over here. Med school's been really great. We have a lot of things going on, but Nyoma Todinga Kanti, I had the opportunity to come over here. So a little bit of introduction to your audience. A friend, Angel Gabriel Ajman Prempe, Yo Morgana, about a little over a decade ago, when I was still a teenager. Siciano, medical school. I want to specialize in orthopedic surgery. Right before the COVID hit, and I got my certification to be a certified personal trainer. And I'm training I'm out for it, and especially right after COVID, I think that a lot of people had this consciousness to get their health in check. So there was a big boom of a lot of people that were trying to get fit, trying to get into personal training. And I'm out for, online Zoom and everything was really doing well. So that really kind of got me out there on social media, trying to put my videos out there, trying to encourage a lot of people. So, how to get their fitness back and check normal, get control over their health. So that's a little bit about me so far. To answer your question right away, and I think so. Weight management, my philosophy with weight management is that, given my my background, yeah, and I believe in 1 + 1 is 2. There's a whole lot of like fitness diet and fads and things like that you'll see online. And I tell even my mom a lot, say, a lot of people, okay, especially with our community, a Ghanaian community, okay, the tricks and tips, it'll be a lot of different. At the end of the day, you end up with so many different advices, and very, very little of it will actually have a real impact. So my philosophy is that, one, I follow the science. What has been tried, tested over a long period of time. They have, I read a lot of scientific publications that have had studies. They've used over like 20,000 people, 30,000 people. They've used EMGs, machines, these are the actual processes. Lose weight, build body mass, So the first thing I tell people when they sign up and everything is that I'm not a fad person. I don't believe this is just a 2-week diet, BIA, next year I go back to my normal. I believe that fitness is a lifestyle. We do it for a long-term goal. And for that to happen, it has to be feasible and it has to be incorporated in such a way, nipa corner, and then the lifestyle. So I like that question you really posed, that, what may work for a person A may not necessarily work for person B. And that's absolutely true. Other than the fact that exercises may be different, the lifestyle changes and everything must be totally different. But overall, the approach is that we start small. We start to incorporate changes into your lifestyle. We start to incorporate small changes into your lifestyle approach. And then if there's any exercises, there's any specific training, we start to look at specific training based on the goals, not one. So that's pretty much it.
All right. So what are some of the ways that you made to me facilitate obi goal and obi journey to weight loss? In the case of obia ebia when you because obia nyewe not just after 40 years, right? Metabolism in there as strong as it with obia or 17, 18, like a teenager. The metabolism is so high and fast. Any junk food obedi, everything would just wash off. How do we work on that? Me perceive you share that angle the first. Yeah, we are not there. We're looking to those who are actually they have the genes of we did 50 years, but still and you may be obedient for so other and so still skinny, like no meat on them. Let you share some the mom you know two different angles, right? Or be
Right,
one those that have gained weight at the latter age, and try to lose weight for health reasons.
right.
And obese so I don't know, regardless of the situation or no, or you're skinny into that dream no, or needs to lose weight. Do those people, my friend say, do they still have to try to be healthy? And not because of me skinny, skinny means you're healthy. Or you could be skinny and still, be fat internally.
Right. I like that question, Pa. So you cut fats in general, right? Your subcutaneous fat and your visceral fat. So subcutaneous and sub you under. Into fat what or skin nasi. So and your visceral fat near fat now what will nipadra will basically on top of your intestines, near on top of your abdominal body parts now. And both of these fat they play a role. First of all, I'd like to highlight that fat in its sense, fat body na journey a wodi went men you soon right away now body a store now say okay, this is what I want to store later on no na may use it, right? So you see that that like I said, 1 + 1 is 2. Obia or gaining weight to be it's basically a calorie over like over what the calorie now or the normally no abroso. So we say depending on what you are, if I say, oh yeah, 23-year-old lady, you're about this height, oh yeah, sedentary, ukojuma, 1990, and I said the beauty fear and as we can estimate say on daily average, Obernia fan say 2,000 calories, right? Into obisa no matter didi yaba so didi ano peri and calories now about 2,000 at the end of the day it's enough to just survive her energy deficit is zero because or you should 2,000 and or burn it 2,000 or did it 2,000 or burn it 2,000 and so there's not really a deficit and what your body can store it as fat so they're now because obua the metabolism no or did this then grandpa or gaining weight those are people like that are a more basic metabolic rate, which is BMR. Just or no normally now or no energy now it usually normally for the basic metabolism it's typically low and I said the metabolism is very very high until you use a lot of energy on its own until on your grandpa the basic metabolic rate very high into no did not burn it or did not burn it. Or other people too that have to struggle with it due to genetic factors. Right now, there's evidence of gut system, or gut, or microbiome. There's some bacteria be over there that kind of support obesity versus not obesity. There's very interesting research there. And more, so some of them can also contribute to you having obesity or not. So of course, there's a variation from one person to one another, but sticking in the middle line, for a person to gain weight, there's ODD more than what you're burning, and there's no two ways about it. I know that a lot of people may have other counterintuitives, but the science is absolutely clear that it is other than say a water weight, maybe a edema be from diabetes or anything like that. If we're talking in terms of pure fat, a 100% say you are burning less than what you consume into what overshoot 2 calories, then your body is saving it as fat. And that's the one fundamental truth that I'd like to start with. Then second stage is how do we lose that? Obviously to go into a calorie deficit. Say a day, may burn it for 2,000. I want to consume less than that, and I say some way somehow, and I want to have a deficit. Say, my body never use the reserve, which is the fat storage now. Me want in the long run. first way, best approach, yeah, approach that no is to the junk food, you know, major thing, may recommend every client here, soda, Coke, near Fanta, near there. This, me back when I realized how big of Okoto McDonald's grandpa cup na no large one can still be sometimes the calories in that drink alone no it doesn't change and no grandpa okodi in the first place so one major thing I've seen personal progress with a lot is soda no and a lot of people, yeah, shots yeah, first week, sana me kachobi as soda no, audio do my own udia, it's as over fat drink, be like 500 calories, 600 calories, 700 calories, fansio and drink it with water rather than the calorie, rather than the soda no, Coke or not Fanta no, and Bibisa no. And most people start to see a difference right away. Initially, now, no, like they're starting to lose weight, especially more, yeah, can see a pa no. Then after some time, we start to talk about um, um, like a high salt diet. So salt diet, you retain a lot of fluid. You seemingly gain a lot of weight. Then the next step is how to exercise in the second place. Into your shots here, first of all, small progress, like I said, there's a lifestyle changes. Boy, shots say now, so gym 5 hours. No shots lose weight right away. And now what Trabi Biase right away on the deal on you say. And we see that it's not sustainable because at the end of the year, 2-3 weeks, and with the beginning of the year, we have so many people. I'm a shot here. Oh, me January 1st, no, my shots here. Cold turkey most often, and the evidence shows it's not really successful, but you're picking up gradual changes, that's more likely sustainable than any other thing else. So I reiterate again, first of all, is the soda. If you cut off the soda, it has high caloric content in it. All the Dr. Pepper, the Coca-Cola, and all of that, it has a very high caloric content in it. Then we move over to the kind of food you want to consume. It's a caloric dense food, a lot of carbs in it, versus a lot of the variation of the content of the food, and also it matters a lot. And I'll just say a little bit. It's unfortunate, especially in Ghana, for most of the journey, more based, cereal based, bread based, so there's a lot of carbs in it. But then there's also a lot of leeway to kind of switch it up a little bit, if I say to increase the protein versus maybe the carbs, and more, and I said to even introduce a third option, which is the vegetables, a lot more into how a famu bebre now and now then now with the still be out to but then usually it could help if you have like say a small carb diet, a small version of the carbohydrate, but to match it up with the protein intake, maybe I would the vegetables, be a salad, be a supplement, you'll feel full at that point. Your caloric deficit will be also reasonably good to sustain your basic metabolic rate, and in the long run, you'll still be at a caloric deficit. You'll be losing weight eventually.
Okay, you do say small diet, small rice. I don't know where you grew up at.
Yeah.
But baby, you movie no. I grew up in a little bit down summer, right? I know of Uncle Taifa. In Newtown, I know of Uncle Taifa, right? Down summer that was very young in down summer to me find uncle. But in Newtown, right? See, I couldn't quite national cast wood did ya. Now see the bowl be see with him that rice guma. I don't know how you see how the rice no good bone him, So what cast more now? Maybe a half of that bone is and no cry, you will be full plate, our baby. When you say small portion now, right? But me in layman's terms, no, but me explain but you will say, oh, small portion now can be a 1 scoop, and maybe a 1.5 scoop, and I say, yeah, and a scoop number can make a quantren and cassa or I did some quine, say, be out the 10 more now. I will say, your back on I say flat beside on, and your back no. Undulate kakra to crowd the match say no sanquine to say a modia near the sun and be a modia no back and I say be a modia ni no na small my because I think I don't know who here papa.
Right. I think and I'm also trying very much to refrain from giving blanket statements because like you said, everything is very specialized. So everybody has the variations. So we actually encourage them to eat a lot more carbs specifically. But in general, no, the reason why carb is such a hot topic near said, you cut calories calories in general, yeah, energy are free aduane bi more specifically. So into a range from an average small meal, you can say a morning stew, one scoop be stew go so near there, you know, would I probably, if I was guessing right off the top of my head, would be about 500 to 600 calories. So and the average person, or your normal weight, normal height, average height, average activities. So that means, nante kakra to them, they be but on your exercise, giddy giddy be no. I think the recommendation here about 2,000 calories a day
To
to
2000.
maintain basic metabolic rate. So that's usually a good number. And I said it will differ from people to people a lot, but 2,000 is the sweet spot people usually aim for when they're trying to just look at their health and BBS. 2,000 a day will see you through basic metabolic rate. And you can also do other things outside of regular daily activities rather than say what to them. And see, when we say that calories, I'm not sure if everybody's on the same track. That's technically what we mean. Calories here, energy, be in the math, or say, oh, energy, or yeah, or they better say calories into 1 calorie, 2 calorie, calories into a janet, normal lunch, it will move 500 to 600. That's usually how I'd rate it. For every in terms of portion sizes, though, like it would differ a lot from the crowd and Casa. Say if you have a 6'4" gentleman, big guy has to feed his muscles. Of course, a fist of rice and main event, yeah, it will not be great for that person. Or needing more energy to sustain the body now, yeah, for it to be able to do the normal daily activities. But Senator Gan, Obian him no, and people are usually aware, say, me dear Johnny say and me. And people usually know, say, oh, me did diablo, so and I say, me did it too much. I think that that's a basic thing Obia can be aware of. So my answer to that is that it differs. And typically, I say fistful is usually a good size. Into our show on sa, things say be a restaurant to be cramped or in the chunk, come on. But over the share couple more normal they share come. That's usually a decent size. Into a show of fist to say nah. Portion control of rice, pure rice now. That's usually a good decent size.
Angel, so face size now cover by room. Teacher be or chere my dear. Me and Bonnie day, your friend say, or your musicians say, na school ni nickname a different obom mienu. Nti no obom mienu no na ye de benku ne brana. Saa won sa na waye ni say right. Obom mienu a, obo benku ni mu mienu a, for one first say no. Na wa mene mienu ni nyina. Benku bo ba kwa da bread no wa bom mienu say, ana wa mene. And they were a big time musician pa. It's not nickname their friend obom mienu. Tata number class 5 class, number class 6. The point I'm trying to make is say surface size now okay na there. Hey obi one I don't can one scoop oh. It is a obi a 6'4" na say nsa so kakra krase mensa na. O you sure say nkofo no nkunto kwa surface size asema okay. O de eno na nchen. Eno na nchen. Binim obi a de bia mete say nkofo ka say oh akwa we Ghana no is skinny. Obedu America we're gaining weight. Ghana no is skinny. Or two we're gaining weight. There are a lot of people comes with the notion say, oh Ghana dear ye nanti baby kofa trotro ye far away. There's a guy that I know. In life in I don't know. Otekamu no wako school. Otekamu no wako juma no abefie. Bo or more border. He was very skinny. No did he pass or Ghana. Come from a very rich home. Very skinny guy. Obedu Kruman me say, or start so did he say, Jack, do you any nation yo? Was all forget it. ye be kese anka ye kese deda endo ojina ho no ma onhu ni mpaboa ohwefo ma onhu ni mpaboa. Yes, and he has gained everything in the stomach and he doesn't drink. Oh. So will you tell me, say, Croman said, "Bibi were aduane different ah? Yeah, dear, because the same lifestyle no live were Ghana no or live what Adam said, no. Our couple the park with me backpack so near Bechele, hanging out, or call for walk, or trails on if you call for walk or the neighborhood. Because I active more with Croman said than Ghana, but within 4 or 5 years, no about Croman said, no, we're gaining so much weight. Is there something in the Jania Yedi and the Yenya way? Educate us on that.
Yeah, and that's a huge problem, especially in America specifically. You say a lot of foods now I say near very caloric dense. Yeah, caloric dense. That means calories no woman does into a shimu bebrema. So you think that oh Miss Crime mentioned this, but if you look at small McDonald's burger now, some of them I look at the and much transfer to about 1,200 calories. And to say back to my previous statement, make it say a day we're expecting you to consume 2,000 calories. And to imagine says two McDonald's burgers, that's equivalent to what energy are you supposed to expend throughout the entire day. But the calories in it is a lot. It's very dense. So body in it, it doesn't have eyes to see what do you it's just processing it as it comes. That's one huge problem over here. And so we think so, oh, we're eating just as much as we were eating in Ghana, but then no. The foods over here are very caloric dense, and that's a problem America has. So even in the G7 nations, the most obese nation and that's primarily because of that. Another factor is food accessibility is very, very high. We have say McDonald's around, Chick-fil-A around, all those kind of foods there's a lot of food available over here. So people tend to like snack on certain things as opposed to Ghana, after now so it's just like, oh my baby. But I say there's a lot of snacking that happens. Into chips, it was the chips and also great chips and about 200 calories. Donuts about 300 to 400. Into all those small foods that I imagine, it really adds up a lot, and that's what people fail to realize. Example, be I kind of say drinking. Oh, man, drink we pay down bomb home. Drinking a crop off, and that's also calories, and sometimes it's 400, 500. So that's almost a quarter of what you are supposed to expend for the entire day. About drinking also
but Angel, these are the same drinks we have in Ghana. We have the Cokes, we have the Fantas in Ghana.
Mhm.
The only difference is that Coke Ghana and tasted different from Coke Kroma. It's I'm trying to find out say what is in a Janina Wokroma say now. Either it tastes too sweet, and I say Bibi woman because I'm meaning boys baby more trasia. Just say a January dinner is a Fanta ni one but won't be in the Avaro ni one won't be in the when you want be in the or back say the same thing. Who that's steady share? Chocolate you do a Ghana taste different from chocolate or crumam. Coke or Ghana different. Sprite or Sprite or Ghana come no my what I say, but first not Sprite or Ghana name there pa, but say me no my Coke or Ghana, Fanta or Ghana didn't taste different. So could it be say sugar level no one seeing too high, and it's they created that kind of because it gives you that. Dr. Pepper said me I was addicted on Dr. Pepper for like 10 years. 2018, and I started to say make it to Dr. Pepper when I did my knee surgery. It it tells you because at that point it's like okay, you're not physically fit like you used to do all the things that you were doing. So now you have to cut some things out to balance or life now. No. What is it? Because I've seen people go to the go to the farmers market and now grocery shop, right? And they'll go into the organic part. So we want to know, say, are we supposed to buy organic and nkwa? And organic the crap no. A big crap still on maybe woma ebe hardly. I said, obi the question was any about.
I know, and it's a very interesting topic. You bring it up, but yeah, there are some elements of truth to that. So specifically, American regulations for food. Although say you might think say cook now no but in actuality it's not the same. even ketchup, it has very different standards from the rest of the world versus American standard. It's very interesting because FDA allows some certain leeway via company no person cut it cost and also a pump sugar boom to kind of increase the profits. Now they are kind of the health benefits and I'm not fun. At the end of the day, America is a very capitalist society. And if they're making their profit and it's not really like a immediate health thing, a bit to my linking straight away say it's usually cleared around so that okay they can go ahead and kind of put this in it or do that in it. And I think there's a very interesting infographic via, well, I think I'll try to find it to see if I can share with you and you can share with your viewers too as well. The regulations are even if the European countries are versus regulations are what America. It's very, very different. And you can see some foods are some normal food, same Dr. Pepper, same burgers, same rice, same thing, There's some additives via and what American diets specifically are you will not find in, say, the European diet versus, the African diet. So that's a primary factor driving a lot of obesity over here. And that goes back to my point, say, the foods over here are very caloric dense. And see, smaller, a lot of sugar, a lot.
Okay. But saw two more questions. Now, if you have 4 questions on my church on them, you busa with this account. You busa for the before questions number. The be penning in abono. The first I'm gonna me pese me kono is on those ketos. Okay, paleos, kaleos, all the Leos, right? All the Leo diets in the caucus, And right now, no, something that people are starting to do. I'm doing myself, cutting out red meat. Okay, does it help in weight loss? And I mean, use the word weight management. Does it help in weight management? And I say, oh, it's not advisable to stop eating red meat all of a sudden because meaning me and me could be on chicken crab, fish and kwan or what I say. And I mean, we'll be so yeah the same thing for 2 years. One day, jai, and also answer back to a punchy level, help us, on that part, those special diets, cutting out red meat, does it really impact weight management positively?
Yeah. So, like I said, my primary philosophy, what I've seen people do and succeed, what I have read about, what the evidence specifically says, and it's to lose weight or to manage your weight, no, it all comes down to the calorie deficit. So you cannot put in 2,000 calories. Now will consume me. Now you use up if I say 1,000 and expect to lose weight. The physics doesn't allow it. Like it's not necessarily possible. The calories has to be burned some way, one way or the other. And that's the underlying basic fact about it all. With the diet and other things, it's typically coming from a good place because it has these kind of ingredients or too much carbs in it. And for this specific population now you're dealing with, so let's introduce this different thing. And they can follow along easily. So that's where diets typically come from. So, oh, we are trying way, yeah, you should share way more. No, it doesn't work as well as we wanted it to. So let's go on like keto diets. It's a yeah, kind of, and somehow it has its benefits. People are you prescribe keto diets, especially or epilepsy or other things like that. You prescribe it specifically, Emano. Um, well, so they just want to lose weight, and that's typically what they usually start. I think so that's the most popular diet out there. What I was saying is carbs, adrenaline no enemy. And that's one thing I'd like to really emphasize there. We like to look at specific foods, specifically, and that typically does not work. Every food has its time and place for whatever we want to do in life. So carbs are more, all the cereals, all the foods I talked about, even fat on its own, like raw fat on its own, also has its time and place and things to do in the body specifically. The main concern here is the proportions specifically. So dependent on your lifestyle, dependent on what you do, dependent on your body metabolism in general, no? There's specific proportions that are recommended for you specifically. So before going on a diet or even thinking about a diet, I'd say what is your goal specifically? So do you want to lose weight? Do you just want to get fit? Do you just want to do it for health reasons? People have scares and other things. People have say, oh, pre-diet or pre-diabetes. They have to do take different diets or anything to kind of tame that. So that's the first question I ask. You have to ask yourself, what do you want to do specifically for the diet for? And the third thing, what does the diet bring you then? Normal eating pattern, and famba. So you mentioned the keto diet. The idea of it's ketones, it's protein, a highly protein based, would eat protein a lot, and you're starving yourself off of carbs specifically. And what that usually does is our body needs to switch it, the mode, from breaking down the carbs, to breaking down the ketones.
And what is that stage called?
What?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So some people, and I don't want to get too,
because I heard so when you get to the ketosis, whatever it is, now your body start to be shaky, reaction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some people will have different react because our body, and typically, per se, use glucose for the majority of the body activities, and you use glucose for their function and activities. But then starving your body off of glucose, starving off of carbs, and glucose is the same thing as carbs. Starving of it switches some of the body systems, specifically to the ketones, and I'm very like cautious of encouraging people to kind of switch right away and go to a keto diet because, like you said, some obua and the metabolism, they have some underlying issue you may not necessarily know about. So switching right away to the ketones, can cause other things. Our body needs starve. Red blood cells typically no glucose into see how starving of has to suck up, basically strive everything, go through all the blood system looking for the glucose, specifically to be able to survive. And I'm not trying to sway anybody off of trying their own diets or anything like that. I think that there's a time and place for that specifically in those circumstances I mentioned. But at the end of the day, I think moderation is the primary thing and the best thing and the most sustainable thing you.
Wow, beautiful. Yeah, I said, well, I'm gonna open up, but let me ask this question. I had a question for you, but you put me in the zone where I lost that question. It wasn't one of the way I now were kind of concerning getting onto those diets, But about back, but The next question I wanted to ask, because that question came out while you were talking, but the next question, let me say, concerning Ozempic. All right, a lot of people are also going through Ozempic to lose weight. Is there any side effect to that? Because there's a lot of hoax out there, a lot of myth out there, and some could be fact too. Is there any, medical concern for people who want to go that route? If not, how do you encourage people to get that as well? Mhm. And also, I don't know. I think, say, I just want to believe, say, probably people are doing a lot of fake ones internet having those people having those side effects, because I mean, technically, are there a controlled medication, right? If you're able to get it off Amazon, 8 out of 10, it'll be manufactured like a replica, and or the RAS system name. So yes, it might get a job done, but as soon as so no, and a chemical be a woman may have an impact on you. That could, because that's a question that somebody asked me. So what about Zimpic? And I'm like, wow. I mean, I've heard say it does a lot of magic, but at the same time, is this something that you can do and stop in the middle of the way? I already lost the 50 pounds I want to lose. So now that I lost the 50 pounds, can I just keep my 170-pound self walking around the streets? And I say I have to keep taking it to maintain the 170. And I'm glad you did say that, but I think say if it's not really coming from your primary care physician, and I say yeah prescribe be very careful getting it off online, unless it's a well primary care physician and a wako hospital or that clinic, they are really getting into that to help you manage your weight, because it could be a big issue. You could read some of the comments now. Actually, my question number also brought it up. Caloric, and okay, my question. Does running burn out fat or calories?
Well, that's a very good question. So running in itself, every activity be burn calories. every if I do jumping jacks, if
So
I
so
do
I don't lose weight going for running.
yeah, running cardio is a very good strategy to lose weight. And I know where you're coming from
What's
because there are other
aquani video now? Yeah, now so aquani was shredding. Say,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I know. Most people are trying to sell you things. That's the thing. So, oh, this is what we sell. So they're trying to present it as an alternative. And there may be some truth to what they're saying, but then the basic scientific evidence, yeah, sure, for sure, say, running absolutely burning weight. One who a marathon run also that. Like, basically, it's practically well, they're very thin because they lose a lot of subcutaneous fat just from running alone. Kenya foreigner, Ethiopian foreigner specifically, you see them a lot because the long distance runners, they
Yeah.
burn a lot of calories from just
Because
running.
it threw me off because I know so when I was in the military, right? Every Monday and Friday was a 5K run. You're gonna do like 10 miles every Monday and Friday. And this was just because Monday when you buy say oh weekend and no be on a didi, like a lot of food cause parties and stuff like that. So you're gonna do that 10K and lose that weight you gain over the weekend. And on Friday, so you're gonna just say, oh, you better go gain weight. It's to lose some weight to gain it during the weekend. So I knew say that was a rationale that was for everybody hated Monday and Friday PT, but Wednesday PT was more like calisthenics and everything just to build muscles. But for this to be that was I told we try and try now. But then I knew said that because the guy looks shredded and the people will fall for what he's saying. And again, like
Right,
you said,
right.
he tried to sell his alternate way. At the end of the day, can you over here the kapuna cardio nkwana ayemuma. All right.
Right.
Yeah, couldn't question. I have 4 questions. We are not really BMA for some questions. Salui Mama, or say, why are you forcing me to join this session before I can send money? Oh no, you don't have to join to send money. You can actually send money without joining. The app don't stop you from sending money before you join this. The app was just telling you, say, hey, this show is on. Click on it and join. And if you don't want to join, you can just exit it and just send your money. Why? You can still send money. Oh, okay. Producer already responded to you. Yep. Like I said, this is one of the many ways startups and reach out to the community as a corporate social responsibility to educate the community on so many different things. All right. Beautiful. Whilst we're waiting on other comments to come through from different avenues, no. Oba, Mr. Alpha, question, Ebra.
So, good
Hello,
evening.
good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, my question or statement is regarding there's a Ghanaian trainer in the UK. He's in London. He goes by the name of Eddie, and we all call him everybody calls him Uncle Eddie at this point.
Yeah.
So Uncle Eddie has been pushing the whole concept of eating natural food. Especially him being Ghanaian, he's actually elevated the idea of eggs on because he eats like 8 eggs a day with tomato sauce. But it seems to be working. I think he's the reason why I like him so much is he's given out factual information about sugar, the amount of sugar in our food, especially in America, the corn syrup. So he's pointing these things out and also telling you that food does not have to look good. As long as it tastes good, that's all, like eat healthy food. So my question is, with somebody like Uncle Eddie pushing the whole concept of natural foods, eggs and avocado and natural things, and people, how is that impacting the Food and Drug Administration across the border?
Oba, me patcho before I answer. What is he pushing? Egg.
Well, he always advocates say, don't mind doctors saying say cholesterol in the yolk and all that stuff. Eggs are good for you. You may have cholesterol based on other things, and he really emphasizes on working out and eating healthy, eating natural stuff, eating protein. He's very adamant with protein, eating chicken. Even he tells you to eat that chicken fat. It's good for you. So eating things that are, and then he's abstaining from fake things like preservative things that has sugar in it, coloring, syrup. He's like, those are the things that are causing you harm, not actually eating the real organic food. And if you think about it, when you go to the supermarket, the things that are healthy for us are so expensive. You would think that they would make it easily affordable for us to buy the greens, the grass, but those things end up being so much.
Now grass and they became the greens, the grass.
Well, I say grass because, it is grass essentially. We're eating, people eat lemongrass. People eat things that are healthy for us. Honestly, they make it very hard for the average people to have access to it. There was some time ago when they were telling all the farmers to get rid of their produce and a whole lot of things when you delve into this whole Food and Drug Administration. So I'm just trying to get your input as to what you think and how, where are we heading, 10 years from now when it comes to healthy eating.
Okay, but before Angel will continue now, people are complaining of the sound, but I do hear the sound. Me Patrick said, but still more, because people are saying that they can't hear you, Angel. I think Yaira said it, and also Fidelia or Kenzie also said it on YouTube. Okay, so Pacho, would be a closely app. No must say biom. Sometimes maybe it's because of say I don't know, but the sound is working now perfectly. If you're still having issues, let us know. Yaya goes into yendi denkra, yendi den, or basi yenri grass. Angel, then yendi.
I think so. I'll take the first question first. Eddie Abiu, I follow him on Instagram too. He's a very, very interesting guy. And the way I'll put your questions there, I am Mr. He gives very, very good information out there. And I'm glad that there's somebody that's reaching the population out, that's pushing it out there. Said the realities of the foods that's actually our DCCI. And I think so he has very, very great visual representations of things. The amount of sugar and what like small food be able to pick up with biscuits, chips, other things like that. He will show you the preservatives in it, the amount of sugar in it, just to kind of give you a visual representation. Say, what drinks would be but then there's so much dense and sugar. Say, you're basically sending your body to full on like caloric overdrive, basically. And like I said, I re-emphasize that to say, I like the fact that he pushes the idea, say, there's not really like, we have specific ideas, fat, and you're bad, carbs, you're bad, protein, and you say, it's like we have that idea, so this is specifically wrong for you or bad for you, but then each one of those foods has its own place, depending on what you're going for, what you're trying to do. Eventually, what the concern is, are you eating within your limits? You are basically feeding every part of your body, not then the nutrients that it needs. And that eats into the second question. And then in the Quana, I think class 6 or just 1, we did this course, a balanced diet. And that's it still holds to today. The balanced nature said you try to eat a little bit of everything in the proportions that when he has said, so anopa usually people what I'd say is that I try to get like 4 or 5 servings of fruits, and that may seem a lot, but then for breakfast, an ideal thing, smoothie is great. I just usually like get my berries, granola, crampon, nuts. To take care of my fats, because fats will the granules and peanuts so I make a smoothie. I usually fry eggs with a bagel or something like that to take care of my protein, my carbs, and my protein, and I get my vitamins in with the fruits. I get a little bit of sugar in it from the fruits too as well, and I'm good to go. Afternoons I typically make like depend on what it is, maybe a rice bowl, because my favorite drinks even in the but if you think about it, afternoon, that's where you're at the peak, that's when you need more energy for the rest of the day. So we typically a rice bowl.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, said, and I'm gonna say, drain your energy, and I like what Obama said, food doesn't necessarily have to look good for it to do its job. At the end of the day, it's for energy. The taste is secondary, regardless of what humans, the taste, is secondary. By the end of the day, we're eating for sustenance, and we need this set of baby to make up. So
Okay.
yeah, so the taste and the looks and everything, their presentation kick it. But the primary thing now, core body no more with once I felt ketchup so the primary thing said then what and what is it going to do in your body specifically. So I think that the thing is that trying to eat a balanced diet as much as possible, try to incorporate fruit servings in it. So I'll say it's 45 servings of fruit per day. Maybe so if you're in a diet or you want to cut down your carbs a little bit, you can throw in some salad. Salads are very filling. But one caution I'd say is that a lot of people eat salad, not ranch, no.
I say BBR.
Yeah, it basically drenches the whole salad in it. I think so. We've reason and so, but
I think say we are Dr. Angela man is also two year but not my friend.
It basically drenches it out. But then no, I think that the general approach to it is that food in itself is great. With meats, the proteins are great. I try to eat lean meat specifically because of other things. The evidence and research out there, about consuming animal fat specifically. But then there's also it's also great for you in certain circumstances, but if you can, as much as possible, the lean meats are great, very great source of protein, great source of vitamin B3. It helps you, among other things as well too.
All right. Until Nigel catching say we eat to live, we don't live to eat. But minima kwebi, we could be as your friend Koshegu, Jisumame. And I wanted that. Usa. Koshegu no Ajisusa, I just mada. One main cramp on the so first of Behu and quality obedi. Into the all right, yeah, that's it. Dr. Angela, Mr. Alford, any bebo mine. About one sunny a second one, and I say first one. Say first one, dear, no yam. Say second one now. Hold on to it for me now. Dr. Angela can say we are my for a while.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for this information.
Well, Mr. Your question now I help you since we are pharmacists. Maybe you have any outcome about with Ozempic now. That's maybe one.
Okay. So, in terms of intermittent fasting, what is your view on intermittent fasting?
Oh, that's a beautiful question. That Obi Busai,
Yeah.
Oh, actually, that's my older sister. Okay.
I think in that sense it has its place in general, because I think the idea is that you're limiting yourself to a specific time pool. For those of you who are not aware, intermittent fasting, you say, was specify specific hours of the day are ODD. Other than that, no, they're not eating. Is that what you're referring
Yes,
to?
because for me, I do the 16-8, right? So after 7 o'clock, I don't eat anything until 12 in the afternoon the next day. Not necessarily not eating any caloric. I drink maybe coconut water. I drink water. So I'm just trying to get your take because that has helped me. I mean, I don't feel hungry because I'm drinking coconut water throughout the day and regular water. So what kind of advice would you give anyone that, that wants to do the intermittent fasting or even want to start that type of fasting to kind of help with either weight management or even just a lifestyle, modification as well?
Yeah, so I've personally done it. I did the same thing as you're doing right now, and I found it like really beneficial. But what I'll also say is that the idea behind it is that you're creating a window, and it's really helpful. I don't know if there's a feedback.
No, go ahead. Producers will take care of it. Go ahead.
You're creating a window for yourself, and like you said, after 7 you don't eat anymore, and that's really great because it gives your body enough time to process, whatever carbs, whatever food it is, overnight, and then basically starving yourself and giving placing your body in a certain position to be able to receive food in the next morning. The science of it, I've looked at it, is sound. It's highly dependent on, I think they looked at the metabolic times for different food sources, so like protein versus carbs versus vitamins and water and other things like that. And they try to kind of come up with that whole idea of it. I have had clients that said they tried it and it's really helpful. I haven't really heard any specific downsides to it other than the fact that the sustainability aspect of it. I'm not sure how long you've done it for, how many weeks you've done it for. But then typically I see that, people usually start to fall out of it, especially after like the 2 or 3 month mark. And then they're trying to look for other alternatives. So that's the only downside I'd say specifically that I've seen. But other than that, I think the science in it behind it is solid. There's not much of a downside to it. Like I said, you eat fine, people eat fine. I've tried it before. I wasn't really hungry. It also made me really conscious how much of snacking I did, because I was like, oh, I'm fasting right now. And there's even apps. There's this app called Fast. I don't know if that's the one you use it. And there's an app called Lose It. It basically is a really, really great app, and for people that are doing intermittent fasting, you kind of put in your foods, you put in your time and everything, and it'll just show you. It will just send you a notification when your opening is. You can eat within those times. And
What is the name? What is the name of the app again?
Lose It. LOSEIT. It's a very, very great app. I use it for a lot of my clients too as well. Basically, whatever you want to eat throughout the day, you can put it into the app. They even have like Ghanaian foods that we use.
Fufu nyina wo mu bi.
Fufu nyina wo mu.
Me advocate against fufu.
Yeah,
I only eat fufu in Ghana.
So, and I'm glad that this came up, because then I can even mention it right now. So, for people that are trying to struggle with, say, a calorie scroll kind of class, such as saying, how they measure and that's a very great app to start with. It's called Lose It. Before if you know what you're gonna eat the next day, you can put it into the app. But say a short day, you can put say I ate 1 egg, 2 bagels, 3 something, and it will show you the calories now at one. Say fufu compound out there, you can show say a cassava based fufu, a plantain based fufu. How big is it? Ultimate estimate so we about 2 grams.
Into because a contour baako toa mienu.
Yeah, ultimate putting in your eye, and
Hey,
it will show you specifically. So okay, this is estimated calories.
and the app you gonna need a
Ultimate put it. Say okay. Depending on time, like I said, FBI a variation. Ultimate put it say you weigh this. Your height is this. This is you're sedentary and not so you're more active. You put in your specific details and it will show you the range it's typically okay for you to consume throughout the day if you want to lose a specific amount of weight. Into a day, go over it. I bet you say, oh, and that you ate more than what you typically do. Well, yes, you can even connect it to your Apple Watch and I'll be signing to your exercise. I record it. So, what burning calories in? So you can even eat more than what you want, but burning, I would record it. Say a tip say, oh, calorie expenditure or the deficit at this point.
What they cut?
Yeah, what they cut. So it's good. So you're losing weight now. So your body's trying to channel up the glycogen that their fat reserves that they are working to be able to burn the fat now. Or it has the fasting alternative, and that's what I use now. You can keep track of your diet, the times that you're fasting, your intermittent period, fasting period, diet period, and everything like that too. So
what about those who actually stays up to like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., like college students, and I say, Obia on no your night shift. Fasting no. On fasted during the day now on didi anajuna.
So I'll say a journey near new who say it needs adiachi and adiasa. What it does is say what you're doing after. That what you're doing after the adrenaline consuming in that matter. So our night shifter, the circadian rhythm is different. Typically more active throughout the night. Into no say did at the end of the day, they're probably doing a lot of work throughout the whole night. So it doesn't affect them specifically to say, be out or did 8 p.m. No, I die by 9 p.m. So your body needs okay, we're not doing anything right now. We're just gonna store everything and we're not consuming everything. We're done for the rest of the day. So it's different compared to a night shift, and their schedule is a lot different versus a 8-day shift, But at the end of the day, make 1 + 1 is 2. If you consume more than you burn, you're gonna gain. So that's the philosophy of it.
Okay.
I have a question too. So for people that, I mean, it's not even a question comment. For people that work overnight, we have to understand that our circadian rhythm, which is our nighttime and our body regulates at a different level. So even if you're working at night and you're not eating, you still could lose weight. I mean, you still could gain weight. I'm sorry, because your circadian rhythm is off, right? Naturally, your body's supposed to be sleep at night. So if you don't sleep at night and you're working, you may not be eating because you're working, but you still could gain weight because that happens because I was working overnight for 10 years as a clinical pharmacist. You could still gain weight because when you come home, you're not going right to sleep in the morning. You're doing other things and then you're going to sleep a little bit. So you're not getting the required or the normal type of sleep that you need, the amount of hours that could still have your body gain weight. So
Okay.
that's just a comment that I have.
All right, yeah, that's it. But Ozempic, no, my real quick about Ozempic. No, came out about. And funny second question, bro.
Yeah, so Ozempic, okay, so like brother Angel said, it has a good benefit. However, Ozempic is also linked to thyroid cancer. So people have to understand a lot of Africans, we have a lot of thyroid issues. So we have to make sure that we are communicating with our doctors to let them know what other underlying conditions we have before we are so rushing to with the concept of just want to lose weight, right? And everybody just want to gravitate towards the semaglutide or Ozempic. They all have some form of issue with developing some other form of underlying issues like cancer, liver issues, and especially a lot of people, there's been a lot of reporting of dry mouth or dry throat, like feeling of dryness, right? Because you don't have the caloric intake based on, because you're taking these medicines. So your body's also kind of losing. Have you noticed a lot of people that lose this weight so quickly started to look old? Have you noticed? They started to look old. But even the younger people, they started to look old because your body is also losing some form of fluid that causes, or some, hormones that causes you to feel full and vibrant. Some people now tend to look older than than their age. So we have to be cautious when we want to lose weight too quick, too fast, and wanted to be on these medications. Although it's for diabetes, it does have benefits to help you lose weight. So we need to make sure we are communicating with our healthcare providers to have the safe and effective way of using it, and not just only with the mindset of just want to lose weight. And so that's my take on those
right.
and all the semaglutide we lost.
Yeah, that's it. Oba, Bishop, follow this question. But that's what be a question. We have 2 minutes to wrap it up. No, Angel for the final words, bro. So about Mr. or question. Or before for a question, be a Mr. Or by we are betting me amount. So like I said, that's be a question. Be a never be able to quick.
I guess it's something I just want to ask a general thing. Do you think as a society we are consuming too much food? Because the whole concept of breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack in between, if you look back on history, we weren't consuming that amount of food like before. But then now, all of a sudden, it's like they were pushing the whole ideology of breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, eat small, frequent meals. But people were fasting in Ghana, in the third world countries. Those Hindus, they were fasting. They were eating one day a meal, and they were healthy. They were all their levels, everything looked good. So do you think as a society that's a hidden agenda, and they push certain things, basically for money, for financial gain? Do you think there's an agenda behind, eating 3 meals a day, and then why all of a sudden fasting is good for you? They've done studies that shows that when you fast, is good. Your cells regenerate into newer cells, etc., etc. So I just would like to get your input on how much food we're consuming as a society. And even when you look back in Ghana, people would eat like a heavy meal and then they're done for the whole day. They're good, they're healthy, and it's not like they didn't have the capability of finding food, but it was because they were good with one meal a day. So I just want to get your input and your advice or your view on our, the way we consume food as a society. Thanks.
I think, yeah, and I recently just wrote a paper on it that, especially in the Western world, one of the problems we have with food is overconsumption. And there's so much overabundance of food, and there's so much push to eat more. And of course, there are institutions that will benefit from the whole idea that we're eating a lot. And I think the problem is also, aside the fact that there's so much food, is that there's also not as much quality food as we have. Especially if you're mass producing a lot of things, you can only pay that much attention to quality to a specific degree. And people try to cut corners where they can in order to maximize their profits. And that's where a lot of the problems are. It's like, okay, why would I go into this strenuous evaluation process if I can just cut the corners and pump it up with sugar or pump it up with saline or pump it up with some other things? That may not necessarily be great for the person's health, but then I can make my money right away, and it's not like they're going to die right away, right? So it's definitely a problem, especially in the Western world over here, that the quality of food has really gone down. It's something that potentially, it's going to be a health crisis later on that, there'll probably be some intervention down the line. But right now, there's I think there is some institutions that are looking at things like that, like the food deserts and things like that, places that, there's food around, but then if you do analysis and you look at the number of quality food around, typically people have to go like 5 miles. And I think you mentioned this before, is that the cost is also a barrier, right? Trying to buy, I was trying to make a fruit salad not so long ago, and it was a lot because it was like you buy bananas, you buy blueberries or strawberries, a little pack of it. It's almost $10. It's just like a lot, and you only eat once out of it. If I jump over to McDonald's, I can probably buy like a family meal with that, right? And that's usually a barrier to a lot of people. That why would I spend so much trying to eat healthy when I could just get satisfied with very, very little money that I have? So definitely it's a concern, and it definitely exists. The quality of our food has really gone down. I think there's definitely a place for intervention to happen from FDA or WHO or whatever in the next coming years.
All right. So let's go to Daniel. I'll call you right away. Just a second. I'm gonna ask the same question as Angela, so we're not gonna repeat it. So, what about this blood type kind of diet? What is the blood type kind of diet? I've not heard of that before. And also, is there any monthly subscription fee for the Lose It app?
So they have 2 kinds. I think that for the normal daily activities, you'd be fine with the free version, or more free version, or more the monthly subscription one. Usually for the purposes that I mentioned, if you want to put in your the food that you're eating, you don't really need to pay the subscription for it. So it's basically a free app.
Okay.
For the purpose.
And comfort goes like, is organic foods better than non-organic food? No brainer, right? No brainer, right? All right. So what about the blood type kind of diet,
I'm not particularly sure about.
Oh yeah, I've not heard of that either.
I've heard of it, PK. I've heard that certain blood type, there's certain food that's better for certain blood type groups. Yeah, so they've done some studies where type O blood, maybe per se, they would say NMPOI, it's not good for them to eat. Yeah, so I don't know how much studies have been done, but yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Daniel, fire coffee.
Okay, but that's what they say. I done my test. It's not about the weight management now.
Sir. Yeah, other matters. Then my way no one cafe the busa question why, Mr.
Yeah.
Okay. It is a question bien ni ho bioma sister ma comes back like how much can one lose if they walk for 25 kilometers steps a day?
Okay, steps. I'd have to do the math in my head, but I think that that's a very, very great step. I'd recommend if you're really health conscious and if you want to start, maybe you can get like a band. It doesn't really have to be an expensive one. You can get like a Fitbit or something like that to keep track of your activities throughout the day. You'll typically see that a recorder or active period. So yeah, you set a goal. Say every day I want to walk 10K steps. I want to walk 20K steps, and it will show you typically the amount of calories you're burning from that specific activities. Now, oh yeah, no, I don't have the specific numbers. It's 20, but 10K miles. Hey, 10K miles, yeah, that's what we're but then no, I think that it's great, and that's a great thing. People can start with walking pad. What I say, my desk. I say, I typically, and I think that that's great for everybody to office because you have to sit and study a lot. If you're really and you feel that you are not doing a lot of activities, there's just walking pads people usually have. Me share my desk and that's it. Then I just stand on it and I just be walking while I'm watching a video or a lecture or something.
Okay, go ahead. Angie, go ahead. And wait.
Yeah, I think
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's
Hey,
it.
PK, can I interrupt, please? I
Go
only
ahead.
heard you talking about cardio and stuff, but we also have to remember that strength training also goes a long way along with cardio for those who want to also build muscles. I think I heard the pharmacist making mention of losing weight and looking so thin and frail as if they're right. So I think along with dieting, doing the cardio, let's not forget the strength training that would also define your muscles. So as we are eating healthy, walking, doing the steps, pick up some dumbbells and lift weights. It will definitely give you a little boost.
Right. And thank you very much for mentioning that, because especially for women, I know so a lot of women kind of shy away from, oh, I'm I don't want to look like a man. I don't want to have too much muscles on me and stuff like that. But then women, and the research out there actually does show that women benefit a lot from strength training, especially for your bone health. Because after some time, your cycle changes, and then you don't have as much estrogen as you did before. And one of the things that Ebuama bone a stiff enough. So a lot of women suffer from osteopenia, osteoporosis later on in life. And one of the ways to tackle it, especially right now, is to strength training, to reinforce your bones, to put some weight on it, to do some strength training right away. It's also a great tool to lose weight. And overall, cardiovascular health much improved. You build your stamina that way. So please don't sway away from the fact that, oh, I don't want to look buff. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of weight. It takes a lot of weight and a lot of strength to look buff in the first place. And saying, yes, I'll pick it 1, 2 pack, I'll pick it 3, 4, but no, why a buff, and that's what you gain muscles looking like a man. So a very good, a healthy amount of strength training is very, very great, especially for women in 20s, 30s, 40s. Thank you very much.
All right. I think sir, I'm saying yeah, the best see. I make sure say you want any more questions. What reach a doubt, but yes, it looks like say why you money into no. Yeah, the best see how to say, Mr. My final words. When it comes to your closer remark, we have the Dr. David. I best I know out. Yeah, sorry, so.
Absolutely. Well, Madam Munyamasa, I would like to say thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. Like I said, a lot of the things that we say here, I was trying to stick a lot into the middle and trying to maintain a middle ground because, like I said, everybody has different body types. Their variations are different. So the best strategy is that wherever you are or something like that, you probably talk to PCP talk to a registered dietitian, certified personal trainer of some sort, so that they can work with you to create goals specifically for your own good. For me personally, I'm available. So right now, I limited the amount of clients I'm taking because of school and the amount of work that I have to do right now. But then time and time again, I get some slots that are open. So if you want to, feel free to hit me up or message me, or if you have specific questions specifically for you, we can also talk about it. My Instagram page is Angels Pro Fitness, at Angels Pro Fitness,
To go
ANGELS,
as a producer to me and type in shame with my way.
ANGELSPROFITNESS, Angels Pro Fitness. So typically I try to post different things over there. I post different exercises. I post warm-up exercises. I post like some foods that are, I make and I'm like, okay, I like this. I look at the calories in it. I look at the benefits and I'm like, I think this is really great. So I post the recipes on there too as well. So feel free to hit me up on there if you have any questions as well. And just to support everything too as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angel. God bless you for coming. We really appreciate your time. Director. Director Dave also. So Kasadia, we're muting your home.
Instagram, yeah. I'm not on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, so I'll type it in Angels.
Oh, okay. So we're in the Instagram account, right?
Yeah. Or typically.
Director, so also I'm sure I'm muting home right now. The signing out my yes, A class. Wait, my signing out of my not video. Oh, directors, okay.
Clearly.
Okay, first of all, let's fix this. Angel cannot bench more than me. I've been bodybuilding for some time now.
How much you?
What's it?
I don't bench much. I think my max is 305. That's all I could do.
305? I can bench more than you.
Yeah,
wait.
I weigh 225.
Okay, that's reasonable then.
Oh wow, we weigh the same. Well, he's way taller than me. I think I'm 6 foot and I'm 225, and actually I'm 220. But I like to say I'm 225 just to make me think I have to lose weight. Yeah.
I can't bench crazies, but
I used to be 175 when I joined the military. Everybody was laughing at me, so I had to gain weight.
175?
Yeah.
Okay, you gain a few pounds.
Yep. That's a lot.
No, but Angel, thank you so much. Seriously, thank you so much. We'd love to have you on the show as much as possible. As much as more conversations, those are very educational for us because there's some things we take for granted. Living in the West, you sit by computers, your life is a bit stagnant. In the West, quote unquote, as success or as jobs. But thank you. Love to have you. We're watching your development. Everybody on the call clearly is rooting for you. You say you're going to orthopedic surgery, right?
Orthopedic surgery.
It's because you care about people you mentioned? Okay.
Nah, because Obubu don't bury her laughing was I fix about.
Yeah. It's like, it's not because the highest paid vertical. But yeah, absolutely. No, but we're rooting for you. Thank you so much, Angel. We'd love to have you back. Thank you.
All right, Angel, thank you. God bless you. I know said before the year goes to an end, we will try to scoop you back in again based on viewers' demand. Please stick around. Don't leave. This is see you later now. Bye-bye. But we wish you all the best in school and hope to see you come out successful. And I hope that people will reach out to you to get more stuff going on. At this point, we have ended the discussion part of Time with Touch Sen, and big shout outs to all my producers at large, Danny and A-Class, as well as producer numero uno, Nana Lord, doing all the great jobs behind the console. Big thanks to the viewers and also all the listeners, because I know some of you guys are at work at the moment, so you cannot watch the show, but you are definitely listening and also chiming in your 2 cents and your contributions through text messages and on social media platforms as well. So thank you guys very much for making this happen. Without you guys, this show would not be successful. And I know without us bringing it to you guys, you may not get this vital information. So we both help each other hand in hand. As they say, the left, take care of the right, the right take care of the left. Big thanks to everybody for coming. Please stick around for the next segment, which is Q&A section with Tatap Sen. And our brother Kofi will start the section of when Director David gives the opportunity for people to ask the questions. Thank you guys very much. Once again, I am your host, PK Forest. So God bless you. God bless us all. Next week, we will be talking about medical billing and insurance. So medical billing and insurance this week. And our brother Michael will be helping us with that one. So please stick around and see you guys next week. God bless you.
Thank you so much, PK. PK, you mentioned somebody had a question.